Hello, hello. Welcome to Sparkle.Sanctuary. My name is Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is another installment in my how-to series on blinging up your own diamond paintings. So my friend Rhonda at Dip in Time, which I'll link her channel below, and I are working on a year-long quest. We both decided to take up a diamond painting that was the most intimidating for us. We met last summer and discovered that we both had a diamond painting that was called Magic Potions or Magical Potions. And they're actually different kits, but we both found them intimidating and they both had potion bottles in them. So we thought, how neat would it be to kind of break it down into sections and make it easier to work through over the course of a year. Now, come to find out that diamonds are a girl's best friend, and one of her friends had the same idea, and actually they're doing the same canvas that I'm doing. So please, I will also link her channel below. Please go feel free to follow along with her. But Rhonda and I are going live. We went live on the 1st and did a kind of a conversation about why we're on this quest and what it is that we're doing. And then we're going to do a monthly check-in so we're going to live on her channel right now. That's our plan. She also has a Facebook group set up to answer questions and things like that. So I'll also link that below. Please feel free to join us on any of this. And, maybe you can knock out your most intimidating kit too over the course of this year in 2026. So anyway, my image is called Magical Potions. It's from Diamond Art Club. It's by Nathaniel Mortensen. If you notice, there are 12 different bottles of potion here. I'm sorry, I can't seem to get this to autofocus when I get any closer, but there are 12 different bottles of potion. And so I decided to bite that down into one per month. And so this is working out really, really well. But as I was working on it during our live, I realized I wanted to do a little something special to make mine different. So anyway, this is where this idea came from. First, I would like to show you, I have a wide variety of different kinds of diamonds, special diamonds. So I have these ones, they're called AB. There is an iridescent coating on the top of them, and it just gives it kind of a rainbow effect. I have sparklers for squares, and these are just kind of sparkly, maybe jelly diamonds that are actually rounds, but they're smaller, so they're made for square-shaped diamonds. And this image is a square. There are square diamonds. Then I have these AB jellies. This is an AB coating on top of a jelly diamond. I also have these ones that have mica powder on them. Some people call them fairy dust or pixie dust, but basically it's just a mica powder embedded. Then I also have these kind of crystal diamonds, and they just are exactly that. They look like crystals. And then I also have these AB crystals where they have that almost iridescent effect, but in the crystal itself. So I have a wide variety of different kinds of diamonds. These are just things that I've built up in my kit over time. I either found them in a small little grouping, like on Jaded Gem Shop. They've had ones that you can buy in small groups. Like these ones, these AB jellies I got at a retreat. So it's just something that I've built up over time. Also, a lot of these are ones, like these are from a kit that I already had that I just decided to keep the extras. And so that's how I've built up my stash over time. You don't have to have a large stash to do this. In fact, I wish mine was a little bit bigger. I could use some more reds, but I want you to know, like, you can look at your diamond painting, kind of figure out what you're wanting, and then go online and find the special diamonds you're looking for. But what you're wanting out of your diamond painting is going to depend on what kind of drills you're going to get. So I'm going to move a lot of these that I didn't use out of the way, and I will just kind of break this down into what I am planning on using. So I will be right back. All right, I'm back, and I have this very zoomed in. I really want you guys to be able to see the diamonds that I picked out for these sections to kind of show why I picked them out, and it's going to be easier if you can actually see them clearly. In order for my autofocus to focus, I had to zoom in more. So right now I have us just looking at this section of the canvas with these two little squares in them. So I will start with this square here. So I'm going to move some of these out of the way, and I will show you what it was I did. Now, to start, I really kind of had to look at what it was that Diamond Art Club provided us. They gave us 8 special diamonds. 4 of them are the pixie dust. So this kind right here with the mica powder on top. Sorry, they call them fairy dust. And then 4 of them are these AB ones with the iridescent coating on top. Now, this particular section has these 5 in it already, okay? And so when I was looking at that, I realized none of the potion bottle the pink portions of the potion bottle is blinged out, and neither is this flower over here. And so that's kind of what I was looking at when I looked at this particular image to start. Okay, so then I pulled out all of the different symbols that are here. There's an up arrow, there's a G, there's this other weird symbol, there's the letter V, there's a plus sign, there's several different letters that are here. And I pulled all of those out of the kit that I have them kitted up into. all the bottles out. And I found these two actually match closest with two of the pinks that I have in my stash already. And I want you to see, I have 3607 in this crystal. And then I have 3607 in a crystal AB. So that one has a very different effect to it. In fact, let me show you what that looks like in a tray. Okay, so as you can see, it still has that pink hue, but when you shift it and you move it, it shows that AB kind of coating, that iridescent rainbow effect. And so in order for this to work, I decided that this matched this color quite well, actually. So let me see if it'll focus. You can see those paint tones are very similar. And I decided that was going to look best in this flower here. And then the tones of this 3607 actually matched really well with the tones in number 718. And so I picked those, and those are actually going to go in the potion bottle on where all of the up arrows are. So I hope that makes sense. I only wanted to do 2 special diamonds, and I just pulled out all of the ones that I had that were pink and kind of siphoned through them to see what I had that matched the colors that are already in the kit. So if I look, these other 2 colors that were in the potion bottle don't really match either one of those. And I didn't have any light enough pinks or purples that I thought would go well with these. And there wasn't very much of these anyway. So that's why I opted for these 2. Okay. All right. So let me get this put away. Okay. So that is those 2 colors for this one. Now, if I move over and I look at this section, this is actually where I started working when I was on live with Rhonda. And as I was working on it, I was like, oh, this would be really pretty to have extra bling here. But honestly, there's already quite a bit of bling in this section here. So it has this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. So it has these 5 colors already in it as special diamonds that are enlisted to be on this hourglass. So in order for that, so what I decided to do with the hourglass was actually a little bit different. So this one also, like the last one, has the letter V in it. And it's like a purpley pink color. Then it also has this one. It's 333. Okay. Now I have 3743, and I felt like it pretty well matches this 554 color. And then I also have this metallic denim color. This is from DP with Sparklers, and it just has this really neat metallic sheen on top. Let me see if I can show you that in the tray. There you go. Okay, so you can see it is blue, but it has this really neat metallic sheen. And I know that 333 isn't blue. In fact, they don't technically match, but just based on the image itself, because there's very little of it here in this section, and then there's a little bit here, I didn't feel like it was going to be a problem or look off in any shade by having this in there instead and making it more blue instead of purple. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. Now, you may choose to do a purple if you have a 333 in another color. Maybe you have an AB or you have a metallic. I think a bunch of metallic drills on some of these images would be very cool, because a lot of them have like metal pieces or stoppers or whatever as part of their potion bottle. So I think it would be neat to have those if you decided to do that. I didn't, and I wanted to just use what I already have in my stash. So these are the ones that I end up replacing for this particular square. Let me see if I can move us over just a little bit and look at the next square. All right, we are back. So I went ahead and zoomed this out just a smidge so that I could show you 4 different sections. So we are currently looking at these 4 right here. This one has butterflies in it. That one has a crown. This one looks like kind of like a fire and ice, and that one has a little tiny mermaid in it. So kind of keep that in mind as we're looking at these. All right, so let's start here. This one right here has actually 6 of the special diamonds that Diamond Art Club recommended in it. And because of that, I decided to opt only to add 1 special diamond. Now, when I looked through all of the blues and purples that were in the kit, I noticed that one of the numbers that kept popping out was the number 550. It is just this purple color, beautiful purple color. Okay. And I noticed that it is in the background, but it's also along the edge of this potion bottle here. And I really liked that. So I have 550 in an AB, and the AB coating definitely makes it look different. So it's not going to look purple. And so that's something to keep in mind, especially on darker colors, that sometimes the AB coating can overpower the image, and you have to be careful where you're placing those. For this particular instance, because there's blues and greens and purples throughout the entire canvas, I thought this is actually a really good time to use that number 550. So that's what I did. I'm going to swap that out, and it's only going to go along the edge of where they have that number identified. It is not going to go in the background at all, and it's not going to go in the main portions of the bottle. It's only going to go around the edge just to kind of give it an interesting sheen along the outside. Okay. For this particular square here, Diamond Art Club provided this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so they gave us 4 options. So I went ahead and added 2 of my own. I replaced 2 different diamonds that are very different from the traditional kinds of items to swap out. So let me show you what those look like. So I have $37.99 Crystal AB. Now, I already kind of shown you AB has a iridescent coating, and because this is a crystal with an AB, it has a different kind of shine, kind of similar to the ones from earlier. So, but this one, because it's a darker color, the contrast and the AB shine on it is very different. Okay, so this is going to be actually closer to this one than this one that I had in that first square, okay? Because this one is a little bit more see-through and iridescent. This one is a very solid kind of AB, and I'm not sure if that is coming across, if that makes sense. But that's what I'm working with on this one. So I decided this $37.99 AB is going to take place of $38.48. And the reason I did that, even though $37.99 is definitely not a teal color, I thought this would be a really pretty replacement. Okay, you see that? There's a lot of green in this AB Reflect, and so I thought this would go fairly well. Now, I am not going to use this all over the canvas. In fact, let me move it up a little bit more. There's some down, there's this, the letter is actually down here, and it's up at the top and here. I'm not going to do this top portion. I'm only going to do it down here where the water is reflecting, because I feel like this has a very like bottom of the ocean, light reflecting off of water kind of look. And so that's why I opted to do that. My other one that I chose is a Sparklers for Squares. So let me get out another tray and show you that. So this is called Serene. These are also from DP with Sparklers. I think several of these are actually, but this is such a beautiful light blue, almost has a lavender reflect in it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just such a pretty color. And so I thought this would be a good replacement for $7.99, which if you see, the colors are pretty similar. Now this specific diamond is located along this top edge of the bottle here. And so I thought that would be a really pretty sheen. But if you look, these are really small round diamonds, and they fit into the square diamond space. If you do a normal round diamond, that will not fit. So just kind of a heads up for those of you new to this. But this is called Sparkler for Squares Serene. Such a beautiful color, and I've never been able to use it. So I'm super excited to use it on this image. Okay, let me get these put away, and we'll kind of talk about these 2 sections. Okay, so for these 2 sections, they actually share several of the same special diamonds. This section only has these 4. This section has these 4 plus these 2. Okay, so it has a little bit more bling. And so I only added 1 to this one, and then I added 2 to this one. These 2 colors didn't get used at all, so I'll go ahead and put those aside. All right, so let's look at this section. This one here has these 4 different drills in it that are special drills. It has 3 ABs, and then it has 1 with the mica powder fairy dust. So what I did was I looked to see what all is here that's available. This is lots of oranges and browns. And then there is like a bluish purple curtain hanging down here. I would have loved to have done a bunch of bling in this crown here, just to really, really, really bling that up. I do not have, let me pull that down a little bit. I do not have all of the bling that I would need in order to bling that out. And so then I thought, well, I could, maybe do the gems that are on here. I also don't have enough to bling that out either. So I just said, you know what, I have what I have, and we will go with that. So what I ended up finding was these 2 specials that I have that match when I went through. There is this on the canvas, 741. It's kind of a yellow orange. And there is 333. Again, this is a purple. Okay. So this purple that I have in my stash is not the same shade of purple, but I went ahead and compared it to the other shades that are going to be in that section, and I think it's going to look okay. So this is actually going to go into the valance. And then this one, I decided I have this AB crystal drill that the reflex look very similar. I can show you that. Okay, when I look at the reflex on this, it is a little bit lighter, but they're very similar in tone. And then it just has that extra sheen to it that looks like different colors all over. So those are actually going to go in different sections of the potion bottles that are that have that in it. It's not very much on this particular on that particular square, but it just added a little bit of extra bling, and that's really all I cared about. So that ended up being what I did for this one. Now for this section, because there were so many extras here, I kind of looked to see what was on here and what I would like to bling up. And I decided I wanted to bling up this little emblem here. It kind of like medallion or whatever that is. I noticed that there's a butterfly or a bird here. There's lots of greenery. There's lots of things going on. And so just to make it simple for myself, I just decided to bling up that section. The one that I ended up blinging up is the very end here around this portion, because there's actually 2 different greens in there. And I decided to use this one that has mica powder on top of it, number 699, in place of 699. Okay. These are the next 2 sections. We are right here looking at these 2. As you can see, this one has a skull at the top of that. And then this one has gold coins. Now, I would have loved to have had gold to put on the gold coins, but I did not. So instead, I had an idea. I have this one that is a gray color. It is number 317. And number 317 is actually one of the diamonds that goes in that one. Okay. But on this 317, there is gold flecks of mica powder. Okay. Now, there's not a lot where that 317 is in this image that actually makes sense for me to place it. So I'm only going to put it around the very tippy top of this bottle here. Okay. That's where that's located. Everything else actually goes in the background around here, and that doesn't make sense to place it there. So I'm just going to work right here around the top of that bottle. All right. And then the other one that I'm putting in here, there is number 301. And it is located in the stacks of diamonds or stacks of coins. It's located in the head of the stopper here, and it is located inside the liquid inside the potion bottle. And then there's also a little bit here on this gold nugget. So I decided to pull out these crystals because they match that shade the best. So not the silver part, but the other part is the crystal that we're going to use on that. Okay, so there's that. And then over here, I have, it's lots of greens and everything like that. And so for this here, the letter, it's number 3078. I'm going to replace it with 3023. If you see like the lighter yellow on this, is going to match that enough that it's going to make sense. I'm not going to put that, it's located outside the potion bottle, but I'm only going to use it on this part that's in here, and it goes up the neck here. And then there's a few in the eyeballs. Okay. And then the other number that I did is 3345. Now 3345 is the letter F, and F is found through the dark parts of this bottom of the potion here, but it is also found up here in the head of the skull. And I know that this is significantly darker and it's kind of a different shade of green. This is more like an emerald green, but I really like the way that this looks. Let me see if I can pull that out on a tray for you. I really like the way this looks. And I think that having this dark, green color is going to make that have some serious depth to it and will make it look really, really neat. So as you can see, there you go. It's more of an emerald green. It is definitely a dark green. And in person, the green flecks kind of shine a little bit more. But I feel like that's not terribly different from this color that we have going on here. So that's what I'm doing with that one. Okay. These each had 4 of these different ones in each of them. So I just worked with them basically in the same manner. So let me get this cleared up and then we will look at the last 4 sections of this. Okay, we are back and we are looking at these last 4 sections right here. Okay, and I went ahead and pulled the bottles out to hopefully make this faster and easier. I'm really trying to make this easy to understand. Please feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So when it came to these 2, I'm really low on reds and I'm kind of low on oranges. And so those are ones that I definitely need to invest more in. So I was kind of limited on what I added to these 2. On this particular one, I again pulled out all of the letters that were in this potion bottle, in the fiery wings, in the lid, in the potion, and all of the stuff that I thought was important in this. And I pulled out all of the different symbols that were in the kit itself to identify colors that I maybe have. And so these 2 were the ones that I found that I have the closest to. So I have 741. I'm going to replace with 742. This one is located all through the bottle here, through the cap here, and then into both of the wings. Okay. And then I'm going to replace 947 with 920. They're both similar oranges. And that one is the letter T. So there is some of the T through here, and there's some of the T through the fire on the wings here. So that is for this one. And then on this one, because I'm low on reds, I went ahead and looked to see, and right through here on this potion bottle, and then also through this section here that seems to become somewhat unimportant, is this pink color. Okay. Get it in frame. This pink color, number 224. And I have this pink color, 3608, that I feel like matches the tone and coloring. And so that's what I'm going to do for that. And then I look to see, I don't have very much of this red. It is number 666 though. And number 666 was one of the colors that is utilized on here. And so I decided I'm only going to replace the letter U in this. There's like portions of the rose. Let me move this up just a tiny bit. Portions of the rose here and up and through here. And so that's where I'm going to replace those, is in the rose. Okay. And then let's see, we'll go back up here. Over here, I went ahead and started looking at all of the different things going on here. And this is actually surrounded by like a metal piece and then is held up by chains. And I thought that was really cool. So I had a couple options. There's the letter, in there is the letter C, the letter A, and the lowercase letter N. And so what I've done is, this one I'm going to have to show you because it is really cool. I have this metallic silver in the number 318. And that's what it looks like. So what we're looking for is actually this metallic coating that's on top, not the actual gray color. And so I decided to go ahead and swap that out for number 415. Okay. And then I also had this 3865, which is just an off-white. And I decided to swap it out for this letter A. So I'm going to have this crystal in some areas and then this metallic in some areas along this outside edge of the potion bottle. All right. Okay, and then this section, this is supposed to have lightning in it. It's very blue and green, lots of, it's kind of hard to really see the lightning bolts inside of there just the way it is, but in the image it's supposed to have lightning, and I think that that looks really cool. When I went and pulled out all of the greens and blues that went with this, I really tried to hone in on the ones that are here inside the potion bottle. And so what I ended up finding was I have this number, 312, okay? And it's kind of, and not a whole lot of that one. It's just more outlining the edge of the potion bottle. But I have this, and it's called Metallic Blue, and it's Sparklers for Squares. So it's another one of those, the little tiny round diamonds. But when I looked at that, it looks really pretty and almost has like a greenish sheen to it. And I thought this would go ahead and go along with what we're doing here. So you can see that's what I'm replacing for that. So it has the same tones in it, but it also has other tones, if that makes sense. And the very last one that I have is number 701. And this one is actually just kind of located a little bit in the highlights here. And so I found that I have this crystal jelly in this green color. Let me see if I can get one more tray and show you what that looks like. Okay, so this truly is a jelly. I only used one jelly in the whole, but this one is like a crystal kind of thing. It's very interesting. And so there's the color that I'm going to have it replace. Is that the same color tone? Not at all, but it is in the lightest areas of where this lightning is going to be in the green. And so I thought that would be okay. It would work. So we will see how that ends up looking. But anyway, those are all of the special diamonds that I decided to opt into replacing diamonds on this canvas. That means I'm going to add 22 of my own special diamonds into, along with the 8 that are here. So there should be 30 special diamonds on this canvas altogether. I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like when it is finished. And like I said, I will be working on it throughout the entire year. And hopefully we'll be able to do this in a post review at the end of the year. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for being here. If you are still here and you found any of this useful, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said, if you have questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If I find any updates to this, I will also do any updates as I go. But anyway, please remember wherever you go to take care of your mental health as a Sparkle Sanctuary. So be sure to take time to take care of you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.